The Dean J. Television Show. Hosted by Dean Robinson. And now, Dean Robinson.
It's time for Summit City Noise News. President Donald Trump and the Boy Scouts of America. Who the hell comes up with this stuff? The Washington Post. Headline: Trump's Boy Scout speech broke with 80 years of presidential tradition. Who the hell wants to speak about politics when I'm in front of the Boy Scouts? President Donald Trump said in Glen Jean, West Virginia, to the National Boy Scout Jamboree, a gathering of tens of thousands of youngsters from around the world. Then, standing before all 40,000 of them, he bragged about the record crowd size, bashed President Barack Obama, criticized the fake media, and trashed Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. In the 35-minute speech, the president threatened to fire his Health and Human Services secretary if he couldn't persuade members of Congress to vote for the Republican health care bill. At one point, he told a rambling story about a conversation he had at a New York cocktail party with a once successful home builder who lost his momentum. President Donald Trump performs like a stand-up comedian, warming up the crowd for a Diana Ross concert. Diana Ross and Lionel Richie gave us endless love. Donald Trump and U.S. Secretary of War James Mattis give us endless wars. The Guardian. Headline: Defense Secretary Mattis says U.S. policy against ISIS is now annihilation. Secretary of Defense James Mattis said the U.S. had accelerated its tactics against the Islamic State, moving from a policy of attrition to one of annihilation. Speaking on CBS's Face the Nation, Mattis said, "Our strategy right now is to accelerate the campaign against ISIS. It is a threat to all civilized nations, and the bottom line is we are going to move in an accelerated and reinforced manner, throw them on their back foot." Heavy fighting against ISIS militants continues in Mosul, Iraq, with local forces supported by a U.S.-led air campaign. In March, a U.S. airstrike in Mosul triggered a massive explosion, killing more than 100 people. Asked if he was concerned by the prospect of civilian casualties caused by such aggressive action, Mattis said, "Civilian casualties are a fact of life in this sort of situation." Secretary of War James Mad Dog Mattis says civilian casualties are a fact of life in Iraq. Civilian casualty means human death. When people kill a bunch of people in the United States of America, corporate media companies call it mass murder. When Muslims kill a bunch of people in the United States, commercial news calls it terrorism. When the U.S. military and select mercenaries kill a bunch of people in Iraq, they call it collateral damage. Collateral is something of value that banks require from certain people who want to borrow money. People wearing suits and uniforms tend to promote the civility of war with casual attitudes toward collateral damage. Zero Hedge. Headline: Trump's slide into endless war syndrome by Yvonne Eland via the Strategic Culture Foundation. During his campaign for the presidency, Donald Trump touted his nationalist America First foreign policy, which implied that he wanted to stay out of foreign brushfire wars. Even before that, he tweeted his disapproval of American involvement in the Afghan war. Yet now, he has delegated the authority to his Secretary of Defense to send several thousand more troops to Afghanistan to join the almost 9,000 that remain there. Trump appears to be delegating the troop re-escalation decision for Afghanistan to Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis because the president wants to be able to dodge responsibility in case that policy is ultimately unsuccessful, just as he blamed the botched special operations raid in Yemen on the military. President Donald Trump uses stand-up comedy, Twitter riddles, and theatrical battles with commercial news companies to distract citizens from noticing U.S. foreign policy that advocates everlasting U.S. world war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Two wars supposedly opposed by the Donald before he was elected U.S. war president.
Why are Fort Wayne and national news outlets ignoring the Oakland Police Department teen prostitution sex scandal in California? 5 days after he was tapped for the position, Ben Farrow, Oakland Police's new interim chief, has been removed from his position effective immediately, Mayor Libby Schaaf said. The shakeup comes less than a week after Schaaf announced Sean Wendt would no longer be the city's top cop, though Mayor Schaaf said Police Chief Wendt left suddenly and without notice for personal reasons. He did so amidst a growing sex scandal. At the center of it is 18-year-old Celeste Guap, a prostitute who said she has had sex with as many as 28 police officers stretching across several counties and agencies, sometimes when she was a minor, sometimes for money, and sometimes in exchange for information that would keep her from being arrested. The name Celeste Guap is a pseudonym. She Knows defines Celeste as heavenly. Urban Dictionary defines guap as any high amount of dollars, basically a general word for mad dough. Celeste Guap means heavenly mad money. It appears Celeste Guap was essentially passed around amongst the cops, some of whom sought her out online, including one retired Oakland police captain who had sex with her for $250 last December in a Richmond hotel after she had turned 18. He admitted this to the East Bay Express, saying, "Please don't publish my name. I will die. I have a heart condition." Celeste Guap, 18, told the East Bay Times that she slept with 3 Oakland police officers while she was underage and that some of the cops provided her with tips on anti-prostitution raids. Guap said that in addition to having sex with 14 Oakland cops, she also slept with officers from surrounding departments in Richmond, Alameda, Livermore, and Stockton. Last September, police opened an investigation into Guap after an officer, who she said began sleeping with her after he rescued her from a pimp, committed suicide and left a note naming other cops who were sexually involved with Guap. Police sources say Officer Brendan O'Brien, a 30-year-old who joined OPD in 2013, left a suicide note that included information about the alleged sex crimes. O'Brien's wife, Irma Huerta Lopez, died June 16, 2014. Her death was ruled a suicide, but was briefly classified by homicide detectives as a potential criminal investigation. Her family believes O'Brien shot her. Huerta Lopez's coroner's report called her death suspicious. The coroner's report on O'Brien's suicide also noted that his wife's death the year before was suspicious. Officer O'Brien committed suicide in September 2015. An investigation found that Chief Wendt's wife had reached out to Guap directly as early as June 2015, shortly after she met O'Brien, and she openly admitted to having an ongoing sexual relationship with him. Celeste Guap, the woman at the center of the police sexual misconduct scandal, said she has had sex with 14 Oakland officers, including 3 when she was underage, that 2 officers provided her with confidential police information, including tips on scheduled anti-prostitution stings, and that a retired Oakland Police Department captain in his 80s paid $250 to have sex with her in a dingy San Pablo Avenue motel. Guap, an exploited minor caught up in sex work, said she also had sex after she turned 18 in August with officers from the Richmond Police Department, the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, as well as a Livermore police officer and a law enforcement worker based in Stockton. The scandal, involving at least 14 Oakland police officers, is a blow to a department that has been under federal oversight because of failures to adequately hold officers accountable for misdeeds. The woman, who began selling herself on the streets of Richmond at age 12 and eventually ended up in Oakland's International Boulevard, a well-known sex trafficking hub, said many officers knew she was underage. Celeste Guap says, "They nicknamed me Juvie. which is short for juvenile. Her mother is an Oakland police dispatcher. Why are Fort Wayne and national news outlets ignoring the Oakland Police Department teen prostitution sex scandal in California? They are too busy over-reporting and oversharing every aspect of the Orlando Pulse gay nightclub terrorist massacre. The Oakland Police teen prostitution sex scandal is an important story about the corrupt Oakland Police Department. Instead of trying to eliminate Oakland's internationally known sex trafficking hub by fighting crime, the Oakland Police Department engages in crime by having sex with a teenage prostitute while giving her confidential police department information to help her avoid arrest. Summit City Noise shared this information with WFFT-TV and WOWO AM in Fort Wayne. Upon receiving this information, WOWO AM News Director Ryan Recker tells Dean Robinson, "You lost credibility with me." Recker is too busy petting dogs in WOWO's Tradewell Tax and Financial Newsroom, formerly known as the Fort Wayne Acura Subaru Newsroom. WFFT Channel 55 News anchor Brooke Welch may be working on her next set of duck-faced photos for Facebook, while news director Barbara Brooks ignores the matter entirely. WFFT's automated phone system says dial 117 for the newsroom. The extension connects to a voicemail account for news anchor Audra Streetman. According to LinkedIn, Streetman left WFFT in June 2015. WOWO AM and WFFT-TV have way more heavenly mad money, reporters, and resources than Summit City Noise, a one-man operation. Who will be the first in Fort Wayne to tell the story about a teenage prostitute in Oakland, California being screwed by 24 policemen who are supposed to be fighting crime and eliminating sex trafficking from International Boulevard? Let me know when you figure it out.
Wayne TV Channel 15 reporter Alyssa Ivinson talks about human trafficking in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but doesn't talk about California cops being investigated and tried for prostitution exploitation. Wayne TV can't figure out why police are so powerless when it comes to preventing human trafficking. When Alyssa Ivinson and Channel 15 really want to find out, they can seek out Jasmine Abuzlin, the daughter of a police dispatcher in Oakland, California. News Australia. Headline: Sex worker wins $1 million after extraordinary claims about cops. Jasmine Abuzlin, also known as Celeste Guap, began having sex age 17 with more than a dozen officers from around San Francisco's East Bay. In total, she had sex with 30 cops from Oakland, Richmond, Livermore, and Alameda, and Contra Costa County Sheriff's offices, and said 3 pay her. Oakland City Council approved a $989,000 settlement with Abuzlin. Her lawyer, John Burris, said that most importantly, the case was about the outrageous behavior on the part of people who are police officers and who were sworn to uphold the law and engage in regular contact, violating the oath of law enforcement they had taken. Burris said the officers had somehow believed they were above the law, or that no one would care, because perhaps Jasmine's credibility would be called into question. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf said it was in the best interest of the city to settle the matter quickly and fairly and focus on rebuilding the public trust that was so damaged by this incident. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf wants to deal quickly and fairly with Oakland police officers who allegedly exploited prostitution in California. How is that plan working out so far? ABC 7. Headline: Group protest promotion of Oakland cops tied to sex scandal. Dozens of demonstrators gathered in front of an Oakland church to protest the promotion of 2 officials that are connected to the Bay Area-wide police sex scandal. Sources say the 2 were involved in a cover-up. The group stood with signs outside the Greek Orthodox Cathedral telling Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf to leave office over the scandal involving police officers and Jasmine Abuzlin, a young prostitute formerly known as Celeste Guap. A federal report last month found top officials at the department and the city mishandled the investigation. The East Bay Express reports 2 high-ranking officers involved: John Lois, and Roland Holmgren are now being promoted by the chief. East Bay Times headline: Judge: troubling conclusions found in report critical of Oakland police. Federal court appointed attorneys Edward Swanson and Audrey Barron in their June 21 report said Oakland Police Department command staff knew of allegations of officer sexual misconduct detailed in a September 2015 suicide note written by Officer Brendan O'Brien, but conducted an inept investigation. The report reached some very troubling conclusions about how defendants mishandled these allegations and did not aggressively pursue an inquiry into what went wrong, U.S. District Judge Felton Henderson wrote. The federal court overseeing the department took control of the investigation after it was leaked to Robert Warshaw, OPD's federal monitor. A subsequent investigation led to the discipline of 12 Oakland officers, including 4 terminations. 4 officers have also been charged with crimes related to the scandal. OPD's investigation of this case was seriously deficient, the attorneys wrote. If not for the court's intervention, we have no confidence that correct discipline would have ever been imposed, criminal charges filed, or departmental shortcomings examined. Reason. Headline: damning new report shows how Oakland cops covered up their sexual exploitation of a minor. The report explains the extent that the Oakland Police Department was involved with the girl who goes by the pseudonym Celeste Guap, and also details OPD leadership's myriad attempts to make the scandal disappear. Throughout the investigation of the cops, Guap, now 19, was treated like a suspect. One investigator even called Guap a whore. Others accused her of lying and later misrepresented her statements to their bosses. Before the feds stepped in, civil rights lawyers and California residents had been pleading for then Attorney General Kamala Harris, now a U.S. Senator, to open an independent investigation into the situation since it spanned several police departments and involved allegations of cover-ups. Harris never responded to the petitions and pleas asking her to look into systemic sexual exploitation by state agents in Oakland. Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf wants to put the Oakland police teen prostitution scandal to rest. Fox KTV U2. Headline: 3 more officers charged in Bay Area police sex scandal. Hayward, California. Oakland police officer Giovanni Laverde has been charged with a felony for engaging in a sex act with a minor in a public area near Lake Merritt. Oakland police officer Brian Bunton has been charged with conspiracy and obstruction of justice for allegedly warning the juvenile of an undercover Oakland police operation targeting prostitutes. Bunton was also charged with a misdemeanor for engaging in an act of prostitution. The Alameda County District Attorney has charged former Contra Costa Sheriff's Deputy Ricardo Perez for allegedly having sexual intercourse at an unknown location near Fish Ranch Road in the Oakland Hills about 10 times with a 17-year-old minor. Fish Ranch Road. I haven't been there since high school, Judge Joseph Carson said before declining the prosecution's request for a $60,000 bail and releasing resigned Contra Costa County Sheriff's Deputy Ricardo Perez on his own recognizance. Perez pleaded not guilty to a felony oral copulation with a minor and 2 misdemeanor counts for lewd conduct in a public place, charges stemming from alleged sex acts with the Richmond teenager at the center of a widespread police sexual exploitation case. If he's found guilty, Perez would be required to register as a sex offender. Fox KTV U2. Headline: ex-Oakland cop to stand trial on charges from sex worker scandal. Hayward, California. A judge ruled Thursday that a former Oakland police officer who was arrested last year in connection with a sex scandal that rocked the department will stand trial on the charges. Alameda County Superior Court Judge Thomas Rogers ordered Brian Bunton, 41, to stand trial on the charges. Bunton was arraigned in September 2016 on a felony charge of obstruction of justice and a misdemeanor charge of engaging in prostitution. Bunton remains out of custody on bail. Open criminal cases against accused police officers are being handled by the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. The Alameda County Sheriff's Department has already closed 4 cases involving Alameda County deputies having sex with the same teenage girl who worked as a prostitute. ABC7 News reporter Dan Noyes reports. At least 7 law enforcement agencies have launched investigations, but the Alameda County Sheriff is done. They tell me they cleared 4 deputies who had sex with Celeste Guap because it was consensual, no one paid, and she was 18 at the time. Are you getting this, people? The Alameda County Sheriff has no problem with 4 deputies having sex with a teenager working as a prostitute because the deputies didn't pay money for the intercourse they considered consensual, and because the girl had celebrated her 18th birthday before the deputies passed her around like a flesh and blood sex doll. Fort Wayne Police and the Allen County Sheriff are not talking to Wayne TV reporter Alyssa Ivinson about Jasmine Abusselin or Celeste Guap, and the Oakland police engaged in alleged prostitution exploitation. When law enforcement superiors see no problem with law enforcing subordinates engaging in free consensual sex with a teenage girl working as a prostitute, there's absolutely no way reporters like Wayne TV's Alyssa Ivinson will ever discover why police can't stop prostitution. That's why Wayne TV Channel 15 will never find out why police can't stop human trafficking.
Are creepy clown stories funny? WPTA TV 21 Alive news anchor Linda Jackson doesn't think so. WPTA TV says creepy clown scares Fort Wayne school kids, police investigating. WPTA reporter Kayla Crandall says just after 7:45 a.m., a concerned bus driver called 911 to report a creepy clown sighting near Oxford and Winter Street. The driver told officers a person dressed in a clown outfit with a red nose and red wig jumped out and scared school children waiting for their bus Thursday morning. The responding officer also tells 21 Alive Wednesday's clown sighting scared someone so badly that they went and grabbed a gun for protection. Linda Jackson alerts viewers to 21 Alive's exclusive interview with local entertainer Sweet Cakes the Clown about the national creepy clown controversy during the 21 Alive News evening telecast. 21 Alive News anchor Linda Jackson says these creepy clown stories are not funny. 21 Alive anchor and reporter Emily Dwyer agrees. Creepy clown stories are not funny. WPTA partner in news WOWO AM may believe otherwise. At least WOWO AM host Pat Miller believes creepy clown stories are funny. Miller has been goofily reporting on creepy clown stories this week on the Pat Miller program. Miller recalls a story related to WOWO reporter Kayla Blakesley being deathly afraid of clowns. Back in 2012, WOWO AM employed its annual Penny Pitch fundraising effort to raise money for the Ronald McDonald House in Fort Wayne's Parkview Regional Medical Center, because somehow, between the McDonald's Corporation and Parkview Health System, the two corporate giants couldn't come up with enough of their own money to support their charitable effort. While Ronald McDonald appears at the WOWO studio on Maples Road to thank WOWO listeners for their money, the Pat Miller program titular host Pat Miller convinces the corporate clown to sneak behind WOWO reporter Kayla Blakesley to frighten her as she reads the news. Pat still gets a good laugh from that story. I can recount it so clearly because Pat has shared it numerous times during the Pat Miller program. Kayla Blakesley does not believe creepy clown stories are funny. Linda Jackson does not believe creepy clown stories are funny. If Linda Jackson wants to know more about Pat Miller and Ronald McDonald exploiting WOWO News Talk reporter Kayla Blakesley's irrational fear of clowns, she can ask WOWO host Charlie Butcher, who has performed with Jackson during the NBC 33 Morning News for years. Otherwise, maybe Linda Jackson can resolve the Summit City creepy clown controversy during her exclusive 21 Alive interview with Sweet Cakes the Clown.
Baby, give me the blues.
When you're bouncing it just like that, I want to make you my pet pussycat. I'm not a hound, no three-headed dog, protecting hell from Hollywood fog. I'm not a rapper, I'm just on the run, teasing these cops and having some fun, banging that Bible and some of these broads. Hearing me say that is probably odd. I'll give you the truth. What more do you want? Is Actor Jack right? Is truth just a taunt? Models and honeys rocking the mic, laughing and smiling. Hey, what's not to like? Man shuffles papers, he's pouring a snooze, and ladies in lipstick can give me the news. Keep reading the blues, keep making it nice. Car crashes and mayhem need sugar and spice.
Kayla, baby, give me the blues. You make it feel so good. Kayla, baby, give me the blues. You make it feel so good. Yeah. Kayla, baby, give me the blues. You make it feel so good. Kayla, baby, give me the blues. You make it feel so good. Yeah.
Get hip to what's happening in the world with the Dean J Television Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. on Access Fort Wayne 2, right before The Fort Report with News Sentinel writer Kevin Leininger. The Dean J Television Show presents news, social commentary, music, and entertainment from Summit City Noise producer Dean Robinson, also known as Summit City music recording artist Dean J. Watch the Dean J Television Show every Saturday at 5 p.m. right before the Fort Report with News Sentinel writer Kevin Leininger on Access Fort Wayne 2. Access Fort Wayne 2 is Comcast Channel 57 and Frontier Channel 27. Consult your local TV listings, Facebook, and YouTube for the Dean J Television Show.